one of the core reasons why Muslim personal law continues to remain a heavily debated topic in this country is because unlike various other personal laws, say the Hindu Code Bill, this particular facet of law of personal law, the Muslim personal law, has not been codified and reformed, say at par with the Hindu laws or other practices. Tushar Gupta, who is a senior editor of the Swaraj magazine, is joining us on the broadcast. Maulana Qasmi, a Muslim scholar, is also with us on the show. Maulana Sahab, sabse pehle aapke paas aaungi. I'll come to you first. Do you think this was warranted? I want to begin by saying that the Islamic law of inheritance was one of the first laws hundreds of years ago that gave women the right of inheritance from their father's property and also from their husband's property. That being said, over the years, in the last 700, 800 years, the kind of reform, especially here in India in the last 100 years that we have seen of various personal laws, that reform has not happened of the Muslim personal law. And perhaps that's why those kind of discriminations still exist. Maulana Sahab.
Yes, we think that there is no scope in Islamic Sharia law of any sort of reforms, because in Islam women have their inheritance and wife has their inheritance and their property will be intact. But women have not to spend her money on her children, on her children's education, on bringing up all her property which will inherit from her parent will be intact, will be her own her. Nothing she had to spend. And she also inherit from her husband, from her parent, from her children. So her property, her wealth is intact, and there will be big amount, because in Islamic law, all the responsibility of bringing up, of spending on the children is on the shoulder of the husband. So, keeping all these facts in mind, there is no chance, there is no provision, there is no scope in Islamic Sharia to reform this law.
Maulana Sahab, allow me an interjection, then I'll bring in Tushar as well. This particular facet of various customary practices or different religions, which recognizes male as the breadwinner and hence gives him some kind of more rights to property of inheritance, is not just a facet of the Muslim society. Even in Hindu society, it was recognized, it's a part of various customs, that it's the man who's the bread earner and it's a woman who's running the house. That being said, the reform of laws, personal laws, has happened, for example, in the Hindu community as well. Can Muslim women get equal property rights under Islamic law? The times have changed, circumstances have changed, and there are various Muslim women who are now coming forward, shouldering the responsibility of their families, being the breadwinner of the families, and this is a reality that perhaps modern law should reconcile with, including the personal laws of this country. Maulana Sahab.
Yes, in Islam, everybody wants to save his or her money. So what is the wrong with the women if she works in the university, if she works in an office, and our entire of her money will be her own, and she has not to cut off from her money.
Maulana Sahab, that point you have made. I'm asking you a simple question. Why can't there be an equal division of property between the sons and daughters? Why should this kind of discrimination exist? My last question to you.
Yes, there is no discrimination at all. But the point is, what is the object of what is the object? What is the aim and object of the inheritance? Object is that my money should be saved. So there is no point of giving equal inheritance to the women and men.
Maulana Sahab, all I can say is that this is the 21st century and gender roles as they were understood hundreds of years ago don't exist anymore. Times have changed, and I believe these kind of laws should also change. Tushar, I want you to come in. I think the entire debate around Muslim personal law, whether it's about inheritance or whether it's about allowing the customary practice of minor Muslim girls being married off under the garb of Sharia laws, is an issue that requires statutory intervention. There has to be a move of some kind of a uniform civil code and inheritance laws, adoption laws, marriage laws being reconciled in this country. Tushar.
Anusha, a few things. Look, we do not have to go as far as the Uniform Civil Code, though a debate on it really needs to happen. But when it comes to inheritance for the daughters, or for the wives, or for the sisters, whoever, but in this case, the daughters, the government can pass a law, the state can pass a law. But it's very heartening to see that from within the community, people are now coming out and challenging the conventional thinking. As you rightly point out, it's the 21st century. Now, let's divorce the politics from this case for a second. What are this couple trying to do? This couple is only trying to ensure that their three daughters have a financially secure future after them. That is all they're attempting to do. Now, the problem here is that the complex inheritance law within their community does not allow for daughters to inherit more than half of what the sons have inherited. And the couple itself cannot have their inheritance, more than 1/3 of it, solely favoring anyone. So even if they were to, pass on some inheritance to their daughters, they can't do it for more than 1/3 of their property. So that's the problem here. What happens then? The property is going to the relatives, it's not going to the daughters, a very complicated battle breaks out. But the bottom line here is the entire inheritance law, wherever it's being derived for, needs an upheaval, needs a complete rehaul. Because this cannot go on in the 21st century. We cannot categorize women into one role and men into one role. And it's very heartening to see. Again, Anusha, I keep saying this. We can talk about the Uniform Civil Code. We can talk about the changes in the law. But unless voices from the community do not come out and challenge the conventional thinking, the state is also limited by the politics of the day. And imagine, just because a couple wants to ensure that their daughters have a financially secure future, they are being sent fatwas. How is that fair? Is that also part of the religious principle? I believe not.
Maulana Saab, coming back to you. Coming back to you. I want you to make an argument, Maulana Saab, beyond the gender roles. कब तक हम 21वीं सदी में ये बात करते रहेंगे कि औरतें घर चलाती हैं और आदमी पैसे कमाता है, इसलिए बेटी जो है उसको आधा हक मिलेगा, बेटा जो है उसको दुगना मिलेगा. इस तरह के कानून किसी भी धर्म में अगर आज के समय में है तो उनको खत्म कर देना चाहिए, मौलाना साहब.
देखिए, आप इसमें आप जो कह रही हैं, तो इसमें पार्शलिटी बरत रही हैं. आप जो केरल का जो है, इस्लाम में ऑलरेडी इन इस्लाम कपल कैन डिस्ट्रीब्यूट their money equally to their beloved 3 children in their own lifetime. तो वो सारी पैसा बराबर तौर पर बांट भी सकते हैं, दे सकते हैं, तमाम प्रॉपर्टी दे सकते हैं. When the purpose you can only serve despite being Islamic marriage, so there is the futile exercise. This is only an attempt of publicity stunt. Because आप अपनी जिंदगी में वो अपनी प्यारी बेटियों को उनको पूरा विल कर सकते थे और सारी ही दौलत वो अपनी तीनों बेटियों को दे सकते थे और उसके लिए विल कर सकते थे. उनका कोई भाई फिर उसमें कोई ले नहीं सकता था और nobody can challenge this. So where is the need of reform when you in your own lifetime can equally distribute your money and your wealth among your children? So where is the need of reform?